Hello and welcome, my chewed up meat pieces. How you doing today? It's Chris and we're back at it again, boys. Today what we gotta find out is this Spike Factory worth it to get? This thing is called the Carpet of Spikes. So it recently got buffed. What used to be the case for the Spike Factory, for the Carpet of Spikes, was at the beginning of every round, you'd bill out some spikes. That's all he did. He was not very good. And let me explain why. When he threw out all the spikes at the beginning of the round, keep in mind that this thing is a ridiculous $60,000 on Unpoppable over here. I think it was cheaper before, though. I should mention that. He would throw out a bunch of spikes, and they disappear after a short amount of time. So the balloons coming out are usually going to be Zomagods and BFBs and blah 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 high-class balloons. So they're going to be slowly walking through the map. So pretty much like all the spikes in the back, halfway through, even all the way back here, basically don't even get used at all. And then the ones in the first like quarter to half of the map, like maybe they will be used, but not by what you want them to be used by. So we're probably going to end up having some sort of Zomagod come out. Okay, the up spikes, maybe they'll pop that thing, but then the balloons inside, the ceramics and the zebras and the rainbows and the blah 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 are just going to slurp up all the spikes. So it was garbage. Nobody was using it, and Ninja Kiwi realized this. So what they decided to do is they decided to change a little bit, and they went back in time, boys. They went to BTD4 style, learning something from the past. Now we know why we're getting those history lessons in school, guys. So we can look back and know what worked and what didn't, and how we can make it work right now. And for right now, what they did was, like I said, they went BTD4 style, which was every so often, it shot out a bunch of spikes. Now, actually, this is kind of a funny story because I remember back in the day, back when BTD4 was popular, I actually hated the Spike Factory because all other towers that had something like abilities. Actually, is that the first tower that actually ever had an ability? I don't even remember. I think there was abilities in BTD4. But now I just can't even freaking remember, dude. I haven't played it so gosh darn long. Anyways, I remember I thought it was upsetting because, like, even if you do use an ability, you have to use the ability and it has a cooldown and you have to press it and you have to micro. But in this scenario, you don't have to press it. It just automatically happens, and it happened pretty reasonably often. And you can get infinite of them. So what people were doing is they were just spam-a-ram-a-ding-donging the fourth tier spike factories, and they were shooting spikes all over the map, and people loved it. People were eating this crap up. They're like, all I gotta do is spam 100 spike factories and I beat every map. And I'm like, that's not the way that the game's supposed to be played, though. You know, I mean, personally, I'm a pretty big fan of you gotta mix the towers in fun and interesting ways and right spots and all that other stuff to make it work for yourself. So to me, that was very upsetting at the time. And then I think they eventually nerfed it a little bit to make it, like, okay, or at least reasonably fair over here. And now they're coming back at us again, and they decided this is how they want to fix the Carpet of Spikes in BTD6. So we're skipping a gen here, guys. Very, very interesting. Anyways, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to Blade Maelstrom really quick over here. There's lots of balloons trying to sneak through right now. I really don't feel like losing right when we're about to get the Carpet of Spikes. There it is. So don't forget, guys, when you get this guy, he has an ability that I can use. And then he will also randomly, well, I shouldn't say randomly, every certain amount of time, shoot out said spikes. So here we go. We got a pretty rough round 76 right here. I'm just going to use my thing. You can see the spikes are coming out pretty reasonably quickly, I'd say. I mean, that's not no long time right there. They're going to come out pretty much every round here, if not on long rounds multiple times. We're talking about 3, 4, 5 times pretty easily on like round 78 maybe. There's really long rounds, I don't even know, around like 96 or 95 or whatever. It just takes so long to pop with the balloons with Zomagods and stuff coming out. We could shoot out those spikes a lot. So I also wanted to talk a little bit about my Spike Factory positioning right here, because I actually thought it was quite good for a 4th tier, but maybe it's not so good for a 5th tier. And let me explain why. As a 4th tier, even as a 3rd tier, actually, the Moab spikes, so we can pop Moab class balloons easily. It's very hard to position him in a proper way. You know, usually when we're using spike factories, dude, we throw it in the back here. That's how you do it. You just put them in the back and just hope that they pop some of the balloons if they're going to sneak through. They're really not that good at popping balloons. Almost every other tower is going to be better. But he's a safety net. If a few balloons sneak through, he's always there to catch them all and make sure, well, not Pokemon. He's there to pop them all so you don't have to lose the game, you know? So, using it anywhere else on the map is just sort of difficult to do. Oh my god, guys. South France, San Francisco? Why does San Francisco need to call me? It's so weird. So, I'm sorry, I'm getting all distracted here, man. What was I even talking about? Oh, gosh. So, yeah, putting it anywhere else on the map that wasn't in the back is sort of difficult to do. But I actually really like my positioning on this map. And let me explain why. First of all, I had to get the directed spikes. This is the bottom path upgrade to make him shoot in the same spot every time. That is important to remember here. Because what's nice about this is I can direct them close to the center of the screen right here, where the balloons cannot reach the spikes, but Moabs and PFBs are big enough to, as they walk by, to slurp up those spikes and get hit by them. So, what I'm really doing here is I'm making so 0 spikes are wasted popping regular balloons. They're all popping Moabs and PFBs over here, which, if you ask me, is pretty freaking sweet, dude. So, I like my positioning. I was pretty proud of it, if I had to say so myself. But now, what's wrong with this is that now I can't get the top path upgrades. Because I did that, it did help out for the 3rd tier, and I guess the 4th tier, just because. No, it didn't really help out the 4th tier, but just because it helped out the 3rd tier, it's also good for the 4th tier, I guess. But now, when we're going up to the 5th tier, now when we shoot out billions of spikes everywhere, the spike piles are small spike piles. So we're losing out on literally half of all possible popping power from this spike factory right here. So, on top of that, I also don't get, I believe I don't get the lead popping power. Let me look at this really quick. Let's see, what does this guy got? Yeah, I don't get the white hot spikes on this either, so it can't pop DDTs. Unless I put a 3rd tier Monkey Village next to him. So what I'm going to do is, even though I'm wasting bajillions of dollars doing this, I'm going to sell my spike factory. I'm going to throw it over here. I'm going to throw it back here. A little bit closer this time. Hopefully I can still get it where it's sort of throwing them at some point over there. And then we're going to go for a 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So there we go. So now we've got red-hot giant spike piles that are getting shot out everywhere. And to me, that seems much, much better. So if you are going for just a low-level 3rd tier over here, this might be the most efficient way to do it. If you're going for a 3rd tier, it might be efficient to go for a bottom path one just so you can direct the spikes and make sure nothing's getting wasted. But if you're going anything higher than that, you probably want to get the top path just because it's pretty insane how often these shoot out and how much they're actually going to be able to pop the balloons over here. So I'm kind of excited to see how well this guy's going to work. Again, he is $60,000, so you're expecting him to be, well, pretty gosh darn good, if I do say so myself. I'm hoping that what he's going to do is he's going to be able to pop the Moab class balloons pretty easily, but I'm going to have something that pops the balloons a little bit easier. So I'm going to pop in a Spectre. I think the Spectre is one of the best balloon popping power towers in the game, even with the recent nerf. I'm still going to go for him anyways. Hopefully I can get him in time, by the way. Time is a factor here. Hopefully I don't lose the game. I don't know where I want to put him. We'll just put him here. Blade Maelstrom! I don't know what I'm doing, guys. I need the balloon popping power is what I need. I might sell these guys to make this happen. So this is a bottom path. Never miss targeting Spectre right here. We're going to try and last it out. If I need to, I've got $5,000 in each one of these banana farms over here, so I can easily get a Spectre if it really comes down to it. But don't forget, I've also got my Spike Factory's ability over here. So even though it pops out every 20 seconds, I can still use that ability on top of it. So overall, I mean, if you realize how much damage he's doing, look at the popping power. You know, on a single round here, let's see what it ends up being. Let's see, 33,000 all the way up to... well, it's not a good round for that, I guess. not a good round at all, Chris. There we go. Now we're starting to see them go up. 3,000, 4,000, and then every time he shoots out that big chunk every 20 seconds, man, we're talking about a lot of extra pops here. Alright, so it's about that time. Spectre. The Spectra. So we're going to get the rapid fire and the loads more darts over here. He doesn't have camo detection. I know. But I'm hoping that this wizard decamalizes the balloons, or decamalizes the DDT balloons, and then we're just good enough to pop everything. Hopefully. That's what I'm going for here. But I want to pop around. I want to beat around 100. I don't need to. You know, it's a good test for us to see if this guy's actually worth it to use. If every single game I'm just like, well, you know what, I'm gonna build the best things I can, and if I still lose, I can't make the video about it. That just means that tower must be terrible in some way. So next thing I'm gonna do is upgrade my super monkeys a little bit. I want to get at least a robo monkey. I like robo monkeys because they're kind of an all-around type of tower here. You know, they're good at just clearing out some balloons, decent against the Moab class balloons. You know, got good range and everything, and if you alchemize them as well, they're at least a little bit more powerful on top of that. So all good things. All good things here. Again, what you're noticing, though, is with this spike factory, a lot of the spikes are being wasted. I would say in a general throwout, you're probably only using maybe 25% of them. I'm not sure if that is a bad thing or a good thing, but it's just interesting. Another weird thing about that, it seems like the spikes do disappear if the next round happens, right? So they can just throw them all out and then the spikes just be gone in a second. I don't think that really matters all that much, but it's again just an interesting thing to note about the spike factory. It's a goofball. Oh, here we go. It's DDT time. Now we get a good test for the DDTs here. Throw them out, buddy. Throw them out. Throw them out. There we go. All right. Oh, yeah. Against the DDTs, that was rock solid, dude. And I know this is a long map and everything, and on short maps, this may not be the most efficient thing to do ever. Don't forget, you also have the ability that you can use on command as well, just having it be 4th tier as well. So lots of balloons over here. We're going to just blast them really quick. Still pretty beefy, though. What do I want to build next? All right, we got 25 grand. Let's, ooh, I want the Robo Monkey. Let's do the Robo Monkey. And then while I'm at it, I don't know, should I just do the Sun God as well? I mean, Super Monkeys are always good, so just Super Monkey it up. Let's do a Sun God with Ultra Vision and stuff. Ooh, I could do a Dark Knight. Why not? You know, I'm always thinking. Let's go Dark Knight. Why not? It's fun. I know the Bloons are a little bit of a pain, but I've always got my abilities to help me kind of clean those guys up a little bit. Plus, I'm kind of hoping that the Spectre is going to be good enough here. It's really not being magical, just being okay. You know what I got? Let's just spend the money. Screw it. Radar scanner it up. There we go. And round 93, no big deal at all. Those were DDTs coming out. Alright. As far as combos go, one thing that I like to use with Spike Factories, if possible, is something like an Arctic Wind or an Ice Tower. If you can pop down an Ice Tower next to next to your Spike Factory, have the Spike Factory pop the bow-ups and BFBs, and then as soon as they go in, the balloons don't go anywhere. So you're only popping bow-up and BFB class balloons with that guy. It can be really, really efficient. Sadly, it doesn't always work out that way, so it can suck at least a little bit. You know, the Arctic Wind, especially in this game, just doesn't really work out all that well. So here we go. The balloons are getting pretty far. With that spray, though, we do tons of damage. But this time around, I don't think it's going to be enough for all the DDTs, so I'm going to use the ability again just to confirm that I will kill them all, and we do. So for round 95, yeah, you know what? Again, because it's a long map, pretty good overall. I believe in addition to an already pretty solid combo of towers, that guy's pretty good. But by himself, his randomness of every 20 seconds only, against something like a DDT or fast balloons, it may not be quite as efficient as you want it to be. So I guess, after all is said and done, is it a tower that you should use in your game? Honestly, probably not. That's probably the best thing I can say here, is nah, I don't think so. It's not bad anyway. But it's just not good enough. For the $60,000 you're spending on it, I feel like you could use the Alchemist and combine them with something else just to make it a little bit better. So we're going to use the ability again. We're going to just keg explosion this thing. There's going to be a lot of balloons over here we're going to have to pop. What do I want to spend my money on? Do I get the dark? Can I get this Dark Knight upgrade a little bit? Nah. Let's just do that Sun God I was talking about. There we go. Sun God, knockback, and Ultra Vision. And that's going to be a lot of extra balloon popping power for us as well, my friends. So Blade, Maelstrom, just cuz. Just cuz, why not? And holy crap, dude, these balloons are insane! Oh my gosh, after all of my abilities over there, We're still barely surviving. I think, honestly, Gwendolyn's one of the main defenders right there for me. And it makes sense, because round 98 is like one of the beefiest balloon levels you're going to ever have to, fight against. Here we go. Reinforced DDTs. And not just one or two. We got a big chunk of them here. We use our ability. And most of them go down. And all of them go down. Wonderful. And to finish it all off, round 100 here, we've got a bad balloon. I don't believe that the Moab Shredder thingamabob does extra damage to this thing. I think it just does the standard amount of damage, which is a decent amount, but not really good amount. Honestly, I think I could lose here, but I don't think I will. I think the bad balloon will pop fast enough where the rest of our towers will be able to deal with it in time. Plus, I've got my 3 other, / maybe even 4 other abilities that I can use once it comes time. So here we go. We're going to boom. We're going to boom. We're going to boom. And then can we do another boom boom? Come on, one more. And to finish off the game, we throw out 2 more sets of it. And that's how we end it, boys. Kind of cool how the Spectre just sort of flew right over the balloons, like it was aiming them, like perfectly. Flew right over them, like, I'm taking you guys down to finish off this game. So that's the Spike Factory in a nutshell. Is it usable? Yes. Is it good? Yes. Is it the best? No. You can get a bunch of other towers that are probably better. And it'll probably be a lot more safe. I think that's the best way to put it. It's going to be more easily. You're going to easily defeat the level. You're going to more easily defeat the level. I think the randomness of those spikes may end up catching up to you, and one random time it won't hit at the right time, and it runs right through your defense. DDT or something just going to run right through your defense, and it's going to be sad. So anyways, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you press that like button for me. I'd really, really appreciate that. Subscribe if you haven't, and of course, have a super duper delicious day.